This is the religion we are following. All the religions were established on this earth to create the seekers. You are the seekers. You are the men of God. Now all of you have to become prophets. And to become prophets, today's Sahaja Yoga has taken the form of Mahayoga. All of you have to become prophets. The prophets have two special qualities, as all the prophets have. First of all, they have to talk about spiritual education. All of them did that. You are going to be prophets who are going to make others prophets. Not only to establish religion, but to make them prophets. This is the most important thing. Not just to maintain a static state of righteous, religious, good people, but that to evolve those seekers, those righteous, good, religious people into prophets. And those prophets whom you will evolve will also be the same type of prophets, but they will also have this additional power by which they will also evolve. That is why it is a Mahayoga. This is the greatest work in the history of all spiritual history. That you are the prophets who are looking after the men of God, and you are going to transform them into prophets. To have so many prophets now for me, can't imagine how happy I must be feeling. So our training, our spiritual education should be that we cannot be fanatics anymore. If you are fanatic anymore, or you are identified with any one of your old ideas, then beware. Be very, very careful. You cannot have fanatic ideas anymore if you want to be a good Sahajogi or a Mahayogi, meaning a person who is a prophet, not only a prophet, but who is capable of transforming others into prophets.
यही कल्याण है जिससे मनुष्य में पूरी तरह का संतुलन आ जाता है, और वो संतुलन पाने के लिए आपको सिर्फ गुरु शरण लेनी चाहिए। गुरु के शरण जाने से आपके अंदर वो संतुलन आ जाएगा कि आपको ऐसा लगेगा कि आप ये सब कुछ पा लिया, अब और कुछ पाने का नहीं। इस प्रकार का संतुलन एक विलक्षण शक्ति देता है, और वो शक्ति में उसे प्रेम की शक्ति कहते हैं। इसे मनुष्य जब प्राप्त करता है तो उसका सारा शरीर रोमांचित हो जाता है, माने किसी अद्वितीय शक्ति ने उनको आलिंगन किया और उनके अंदर ये शक्ति थी जिससे वो सारी दुनिया की परेशानियाँ, उथल पुथल, असंतुलन, सबसे ऊपर उठ के एक संतुलन में विचरण करते हैं। इसलिए इस शक्ति को प्राप्त करने के लिए लोग बहुत कोशिश करते हैं, और वो दूसरे मनुष्य से ही, मानव से ही इसे प्राप्त करते हैं, जो स्वयं भगवान स्वरूप हो जाता है और जो स्वयं ही इस चीज को प्राप्त किए हुए हैं। This is a subject which you can only explain in Hindi language. which says that this Guru Pad you get from somebody else. But that somebody else itself is endowed with the power of peace of mind to begin with, and also the power to overcome all kinds of earthly problems, mental problems, physical problems. All these problems you can solve through your mental balance and mental blessings from your Guru. When you become the Guru, you yourself have the power to bless others with your blessing power. You can create a Guru out of many. And once the Guru is created, and there is a Guru who has this power, it's very satisfying and is very ennobling. The satisfaction is so much that you don't want anything. This is the power of Shiva. You have seen Shiva, doesn't have much clothes. He doesn't decorate himself. He's just sitting in meditative mood all the time. He doesn't want anything. He's so satisfied with himself that he doesn't want anything. And that is the power you get after the self-realization if you have a Guru of that level and caliber. One should not try to become a Guru. That's very impractical. If you try to become, you will never. It has to come to you automatically, without any asking, without any effort. So the only way you can get to it is through dhyana. Dhyana is meditation. When you meditate, just meditate and meditate. Do not ask for anything. Meditation itself gives you that instrument which can bear this great power of the Guru. And then you automatically give this power to others. You don't have to work it out. Just in your presence, people can get this power of complete satisfaction. And there is salvation for you and for others. In Sahaja Yoga, we are not belonging to any such stupid religions. We belong to one religion, is Vishwanirmala. And all the stupidity of all these religions we should really throw away. Because what you just see now today, everywhere, every religious group is fighting each other, beating each other, finishing each other. I mean, it's not the way a religious persons should be like that. But they are killing each other. I mean, all kinds of horrible things there. Unbelievable how they can do that. Such cruelty. And first thing is, for a yogi or for a saint, cruelty is absolutely not there. They will sacrifice their life. They'll do anything, but they'll not be cruel to another person. Now, so those who in the name of God and religion are cruel are actually not at all by any chance are religious. So this is what the perversion of religion is. We all should understand, if you belong to Sahaja Yoga, then for us kindness, sweetness, compassion, love is the main quality you should have. And if you don't have that, then we are not Sahaja Yogis. I'm happy today is another day of Guru Purnima. which is a very auspicious day and to be regarded as a very big blessing for you, because this gives you, this is a certificate that you all are capable of being gurus. You have to become. Becoming is important. In Sahaja Yoga, becoming is important. All other things are really of no use. You have to become. Especially ladies are very shy, I think. They can do a lot and they should work it out. They are shy for nothing at all. What is the need to be shy? They are very shy ladies and they just don't get into the whole working of Sahaja Yoga. You should. If the ladies start talking about it, I think it will work much faster. And I bless you all to do this work which was left half done by the saints. It's your duty to complete it. We meet others, we greet others, talk to them. We should be able to talk. There are some people who just don't know how to talk. They just don't talk. They are all the time. You never heard their voice. If they telephone, I can't even recognize because I had never heard their voices before. You must talk. Open out. What is there to have fear? Humility doesn't mean fear. It means complete love. You must talk, open out, be interesting. Try to do something for others. I've been saying this again and again. You have to all become gurus. I am just a mother. And mother is the first and the last guru for everyone. That's how I am your guru and I am the guru of all the gurus. But you have to become your own guru. And for that, you have to think that you have to hold swords in your hand. Not only to hold swords in your hand, you have to teach others to hold the swords. What should be the character of that man who has to guide others? He himself cannot hold the sword in his hand. What is he going to teach to others? You just tell me that. No, a simple question. At least you should have that personality that can hold the sword in that. But be humble. Do not talk big. And do not become silent bores also. Some of them are real silent bores. They cannot be gurus. I can tell you this much. That's another quality. They are absolutely boring people. Nobody wants to stay with them. You have to have people around to be a guru. You can't be guru of yourself. If everybody says, oh, he's such a boring person, nobody will be there. You have to be interesting. You have to be interesting. You have to be dynamic. You should know some stories here and there. You have to make them laugh. They should enjoy you. This is Sahaja Yoga Guruship. You see, for such boring gurus, one or two would stick on. If they are equally boring or more boring. But such gurus are not going to help us in Sahaja Yoga. They are not. You have to be joyous, cheerful, helpful, understanding, concerned. You have to be concerned about others. You have to behave in a way that they feel that you are the security for them. But that doesn't mean that you get after one person. There is, you see, everything you tell them goes into some sort of a mad mold. I don't know how it happens, whatever I say. Either you should not have taken birth in England. If you have taken, you have more responsibility not to be English and to be universal, because you have taken birth in the heart of the universe. You cannot be small-minded. You cannot be chicken-hearted. Either you are frightened or you are aggressive. This is an impossible situation. You have to be so strong that nothing should make you frightened. And such a person is the most benevolent personality. He's not frightened of anyone. Why should he harm anyone? Today, I hope you people really don't listen to my lecture but put it in your heart. And understand that you have to become very dignified, majestic gurus of this universe. I would like to ask William Blake, what is he doing? When is he going to take his birth on this earth? When people of his caliber are going to be born in this country? Or they are all running away again to some other place to be born?
But as you have seen, after realization you have to be very careful. In the same way, after becoming Guru, it is even more necessary to be careful. Because as you know, that in the West, we have ego problem. The Westerners are ego-oriented. And this principle, once established, Guru means higher. Guru means the one who has more weight. Guru word is used even for magnetism, which has more weight, gravity. Such a person has much more gravity than others have. So he can teach others. He has to be a higher person. When this awakens into you, has to be sustained with complete observation within you, that you do not succumb to the ways of ego. Also, you should not have irreligious behavior, nor you should have indecent behavior. Neither you should be hot-tempered, nor should be servile, but should be in the center. You are the Guru, you are the higher personality than the rest of them. So you have to maintain a certain higher values of dignity, of your own sustenance, which has to be higher than those to whom you teach, who become your disciples. Everyone can make you out what you are. As soon as you are a Guru, you have to be absolutely a transparent person. Face you. You may make mistakes, makes no difference at all. Doesn't make any difference at all if you make some mistake. But do not pretend something which you are not. Trying to put up some sort of a face. And all these things are not going to happen. Sahaja Yoga is a genuine thing, is a true thing, and we have to be true. It doesn't happen by just giving somebody a name, now come along, you become an initiator and all that. It is not that way. You have to raise the Kundalini, give them a realization, and tell them that unless and until it is realized, it won't work. You could be better Gurus than me, I can assure, for 2 reasons. Firstly, I am a mother. So the love principle is much more, always it supersedes the Guru principle. You have to love others, no doubt. But in surrendering, you can help me much more than I can help. But you yourself have to be very careful. You have to be loving, no doubt. But loving doesn't mean that you show fear about things and go out of the way to please people. No, it never means that. Neither it means shouting at people or getting angry with people, but it never means, for a Guru Tattva, never means that you go on asking for votes. Have a little indifference about it. If the disciple accepts, well and good. But you are not going to throw pearls for these animals to trample over. So that dignity, the protocol of your own personality you must maintain. That is very important, because such people are extremely difficult. And nobody will accept Guru who is like this, trying to show that you are afraid of them. If you are afraid, how could you be the Guru? Or trying to show you are very innocent, or very sweet, overnight, and looking after food and this, that. No. They should look after you, not that you should look after them. When you are the Guru, they have to look after you. Of course, you have to be kind and you have to be nice to them, as your mother has been. But you just don't run after them. That would reduce your quality as a Guru. Stand in your own dignity and understand. I know some of them will despise you. Makes no difference. Somebody will laugh at you. Makes no difference. Stand with your dignity. Like a big elephant walking and the dogs are barking. Dignity is the first thing the Gurutva is called. There's no word exactly which can match with Guru in Islam. While talking, you should not be very silent nor over talkative. You see, any extreme should be given up. When you have to talk, you must talk. Talk with dignity and gravity, and with experience, with understanding. Now, next time, of course, I will also tell you how you should, before doing anything, before starting your Guru work, you must always prostrate yourself before your own Guru and then do it. Because in India, even a musician also when he starts singing, first he takes his Guru's name, then of his family, Gharana they call it. Means your family is Sahajoga. So you should take the name of Sahajoga, because you must have the personality of a Guru. When people see you, they should know that you are a Guru. When you walk, they should see you are a Guru. When you talk, they should say that he is the man. We can say he is definitely the man who has achieved something. So in every way, you will be blessed by the Divine, because you are doing the job of the Divine. The Divine is going to look after you. Everything. Only thing what you have to look after is your own dignity. Own dignity and your own proper countenance as per the knowledge that is within you. Actually, I don't have to tell you anything. That is within you. You just speak inside and it will be there. You just start speaking and it will be expressing itself. You won't have to at all ask me. I can tell you this much. It will just come out. There's a girl of 10 years in India, and she started this, and when she was speaking, people said, at least Mataji herself was speaking. So don't have to worry about it. But in case there is any problem, I'm always...
There is no ambition left, no competition. All these qualities are of the brain, or we can say of the intellect, which makes you competitive, which makes you also jealous. So jealousy is also a product of this competitiveness, because when two persons are competing or many are competing and one is selected, others become jealous. I mean, instead of feeling happy, all right. So one of us has become something, so we should be very happy that he has become. On the contrary, the other people feel jealous. Why has he become? Who is he? What does he think of himself? Then they go further. Not you people, but on the whole people go further with it. And what do? Is to harm another person.
In the same way, whatever is not congenial to the ocean, to this divine power, should not be done. Otherwise, you will spoil the whole of it. We have had experience. We have had Sahajogis who were leaders also, and they tried to be quite funny, and the whole collectivity was spoiled. One person who is not a good person can spoil the whole collectivity. The one who is then a leader on top of that is even worse. Anybody you get attached to, you must verify why are you attached to such a person. What is the reason? Now in Sahaja Yoga, people are attached to each other very much, I know that. But it is not for any external reason. Because somebody is rich, because somebody is famous, because somebody is doing some sort of a extraordinary work. No. They are attached to that person because that person is a bundle of vibrations. That it gives you tranquility, it gives you joy, and it gives you a kind of immense resolution of your being. So that happens when you are very much there. As I have told you the story of once this potter was kneading the clay, and his name was Gora Kumar. And when Namadeva, who was a tailor but very well known poet, both of them were poets, he went and he saw this potter was doing such a, it was not a very respectable work he was doing. He was busy kneading the clay. He looked at him, and what he says, that I have come here to see the Chaitanya, to see the formless. But what I find, that the formless has got into a form. This only, I always say, is only possible between the two saints of the same level. That the way they appreciate, the way they feel, there are no words for what I want to say, but the way they feel the oneness, the unity, which is a subtle one between each other. Such a feeling, if you have for each other, then know that you are really now dissolved and you are in the ocean of joy. But on the contrary, those who are sitting on the shores cannot feel that way. They judge, they try to find out what's wrong with that person, this is not so. They can never appreciate another person. What they feel is that they have a right to criticize, to find out faults with others, and that they are something special. And the other person also finds out faults with this person. So it's a fault-finding society, I find sometimes, and you get fed up with it. But when you see that another person who is there, the person who is another saint, you feel such rapport, such oneness, such a spontaneous feeling for that person, which is absolutely pure. There's no expectation, there's no mental activity to find out what's wrong with that person. There's no judgment about what the person is like, but just oneness with that person you feel, and you feel that your quality of your love has got a new shine, a new dimension. So it comes to that, what we should appreciate within ourselves is the purity of our love. When you are pure, the purity is there, you do not get attached to anything, but in that detachment you are enjoying. In attachment you cannot enjoy, because in that you are bothered more about the superficial relationship with the other person. But the main thing we have to see within ourselves, do we really love each other? Do we really have affection and compassion for others who are not even Sahaja Yogis? Those who are not Sahaja Yogis are also the blind people. You should have compassion for them. It is there. In that compassion, it forgives, it forgets all nonsensical things. The forgiveness is only possible if you have this compassion within you. This is what you have now. No, these things were done by saints long time back, but nobody liked them and they crucified them out of jealousy. Because if somebody became a saint, then people felt very jealous of that person. So they killed them or tortured them and troubled them. The situation is not so bad now. Of course, there are some useless people. There are some people who are really monsters. I agree. Forget about them. But on the whole, our attitude should be that these are blind people. Now, looking at somebody who is maybe something wrong with that person, may not be good natured, maybe anything. But in your heart, you should not have any grudge. You should not have any complaints about it. You can talk to that person about it. You can tell him in a way that will be absorbed. But you should not try to make an issue out of it and try to in any way trouble or torture anyone. Can I put off this? You have to appreciate yourself. You have to know that you are not unkind to anyone, you are not judging others, and that you are appreciating everything in that person, whatever is good in him as a human being. It works. First of all, this principle of Guru must be awakened in you, which gives you balance. And then the ascent has to be brought in through the spirit, the Atma. That is done by the Shakti, by the Kundalini herself. She is the Shakti, she is the womb. She is the one who nourishes, first of all. She nourishes. That power within us nourishes all our chakras, by which she cures our mental, emotional, physical, spiritual being. Because sometimes we bow to wrong type of people, our spiritual being is also very much hurt. And after that, after she has achieved that, then she ascends through your spontaneous movement and gives you the self-realization. So it is she who is the giver of your moksha. She is the one who is the giver of the peace, of the joy. And this mother of yours resides in you, and she gives you the realization. So we worship her as the power within you, so that you are empowered. You become powerful. But this power makes you the master. When she comes in the void area, she makes you the master, because she enlightens that Guru principle within you, and you become the master. You become the master of yourself, and by that you become the master of others also. Let's see what are the statutes. First is, you do not harm anyone. First principle is that we are not to harm anyone. First of all, we should not harm anyone who is walking in the path of God. The one who is a realized soul. He may be wrong. There may be some mistakes in him, still he needs correction. Nobody is perfect as yet. So, do not harm, always try to help. The second statute is that you have to stand on your own legs and know that you are here, one with the truth, the testimony. The testimony of the truth. That you have seen the truth, you know what truth is. And you cannot compromise with falsehood. You cannot. For that you need not harm anyone. You have to just profess it. You have to stand up and say that you have seen the truth and this is the truth, and you have to be one with it so that people see that light of truth in you and they accept you. It's not for telling others that you have to be truthful and this is the truth we have seen, that this is what God's laws are, how they work out. Through vibratory awareness we have been able to see this is the truth. But be completely confident about it. But for that, first of all, you must test yourself completely. Otherwise, you might be playing into the hands of ego. It happens with many people who start doing Sahaja Yoga to begin with. So be cautious. Be sure that you are telling the truth and nothing else, and that you have felt the truth in full ways. This is a very important task Sahaja Yogis have to do in these modern times, is to tell aloud that they have found the truth. That part is very weak. In whatever way you like, you can write books, you can announce it, you can talk to your friends, to your relations, and everywhere tell them this is the truth now, that you have entered into the kingdom of God, that you are blessed by the grace of God, that you are realized souls, that you have felt the divine power which is pervading everywhere, and that you can give realizations to others. This you have to tell others, and know that by your accepting truth, you are not adding anything to the truth, but you are adorning yourself. One requires courage to enjoy the truth. Sometimes people will laugh at you, will mock at you, may persecute also. But that should not be any worry to you, because your relationship is with the statutes and with the grace of God. When that is your connection, you should not worry about other people, what they have to say about it. You have to stand up, adorn yourself with that truth, and talk to people, that people will know that you have found it. With that authenticity with which you speak, people will know that you have found it. This is how you are going to express your principle of mastery, or you can say Guru Tattva. You have to be truthful. First, foremost thing is that you should know the truth, you should stand this testimony, and that you should announce it. The third thing for a guru in Sahaja Yoga has to do is to develop detachment. Gradually you do develop it, because you find that unless and until you develop that detachment, you are not receiving vibrations in full way. But today, I authorize you to be the gurus, so that through your own character and through your own personalities, the way you practice Sahaja Yoga in your own life and manifest the light, others will follow you, and that you will establish the statutes of Lord in their hearts, emancipate them, give them their salvation, because you have got your salvation. You are the channels. Without the channels, this all-pervading power cannot work out. That's the system. If you see the sun, its light spreads through its rays. From your heart, the blood flows through arteries. They become smaller and smaller. You are the arteries which is going to flow this blood of my love to all the people. If the arteries are broken, it will not reach the people. That is why you are so important, very, very important. The bigger you become, the bigger artery you become, then you encompass more people. By that also you are more responsible. Today, all of you must, within yourself, to your spirit promise that you will be a guru worthy of your mother.